Attention dreamers, all aboard the Dreamline Express for a journey to a deep and peaceful slumber. The whistle's blown once, and we're departing shortly. Ah, lovely. You've made it on board. Welcome. I'm your captain, the Dreamweaver, and this is the Dreamland Express. Each night we take a unique and magical route to the wondrous realm of Dreamland as I tell you the story of the lands we pass along the way. In tonight's journey, we will travel through space and I will tell you the story of the Descendants of Exodus, where a generations-old spaceship carrying the last remnants of humanity returns to Earth. By the time the story's over, we should be pulling into Dreamland, our final destination for the night, and you will be fast asleep. But before we head off and begin our journey, I extend the invitation to you to settle in and get really comfortable. This is the Dreamweaver's invitation. Inhale the quiet, let worries unwind, feet come to rest, peace you will find. Ankle to calf, tension released, muscles relax, completely at peace. Knees soften, worries take flight, thighs growing heavy, bathed in moonlight. Hips settle deep, a restful sigh, calm spreading softly like stars in the sky. Warmth in your stomach, a comforting hum. Belly relaxes, worries succumb. Chest gently rises, a soothing refrain. Shoulders surrender, let go of all strain. Neck long and loose, head cradled with care. A gentle breeze blows to soften your hair. Fingers grow heavy, eyelids slip low. Arm muscles whisper, let everything go. Darkness embraces a gentle cocoon. Dreams taking flight amongst stars and the moon. Drifting through clouds, worries set free. For in the sleep realm only peace can be. And as slumber is calling, my dearest, it seems I should tell you a story and weave you a dream. Are you ready? Then let the whistle blow once more and our journey to Dreamland begins. Flickering fluorescent lights hummed overhead, casting an institutional glow over the sterile white hallway. Anya, a wisp of a girl with fiery red hair, crept along the metal wall, her heart hammering a frantic rhythm against her ribs. Beside her, Kai, broader and more grounded, rolled his eyes. "This is stupid, Anya. We've checked this corridor 12 times. Restricted archives are off limits for a reason." Anya pressed her ear against the cold metal door. A faint hum emanated from within, a sound unlike anything found in the regulated hum of the Exodus. "There's something there, Kai. I can feel it." Driven by an insatiable curiosity, Anya had spent weeks studying the labyrinthine corridors of the restricted decks. Whispers about a hidden archive, a repository of pre-Exodus knowledge, had become an obsession. Suddenly, a metal click echoed down the hall. Anya and Kai froze. A security drone, a silent silver orb patrolling the forbidden zone, rounded the corner. Anya lunged, grabbing Kai's arm and dragging him into a narrow maintenance shaft. They squeezed in, the stale air thick with the smell of old grease. The drone whirred past, its single red eye searching the corridor. Anya held her breath, counting the agonizing seconds until it disappeared. "See?" Kai hissed once the coast was clear. "We're lucky it didn't detect us. This is getting out of hand, Anya." They emerged from the shaft on a different deck, one filled with rows of deactivated robots, relics of a bygone era. Anya, ignoring Kai's protests, pushed open a heavy metal door and gasped. The room was a stark contrast to the sterile white of the Exodus. Walls, floor to ceiling, displayed holographic projections. Images danced before their eyes. Lush green forests, vast blue oceans, creatures unlike anything they'd ever seen in the sterile hydroponics bay. "Earth," Anya whispered, her voice filled with awe. Anya spent the next hour mesmerized. Here, in this hidden archive, lay proof that there was once a world beyond the cold metal walls of their ship. Images of a bustling civilization, towering structures, and vibrant life flooded their senses. It was a world teeming with colour and possibility, so different from the controlled environment of their artificial home. "It's beautiful," Anya breathed, tears welling up in her eyes. "But what happened?" Kai traced a finger across the image of a long-gone city. "Elder Ilaria says Earth wasn't always like this. Something went wrong, forced our ancestors to flee." They stood in silence for a moment, the weight of the past settling around them. The beauty they had witnessed was tinged with a profound sense of loss. Days later, the announcement echoed through the ship's speakers, shattering the controlled routine. Elder Ilaria's voice, laced with both excitement and apprehension, declared their imminent arrival on Earth. Cheers erupted from some quarters, while others huddled in worried groups. Anya found Kai in the hydroponics bay, his brow furrowed as he tended to the rows of nutrient-rich vegetables. The news had ignited a storm of emotions within him. "They're really taking us back," Kai mumbled, pulling a stray leaf from a tomato vine. "Feels unreal." "What are you scared of?" Anya challenged, a spark of defiance in her eyes. "Scared? Not scared," Kai hedged. "Uncertain. Earth isn't what it used to be. What if it's dangerous?" Anya placed a hand on his shoulder. "We'll have each other," she said, with a reassuring smile. Deep down, however, a slither of doubt echoed Kai's concerns. What awaited them on that blue marble, suspended in the vast emptiness of space? Later that day, Anya and Kai snuck into a secluded lab tucked away in a corner of the science deck. It belonged to Dr. Vance, a brilliant but ostracized scientist known for his unorthodox theories. His scans of Earth painted a different picture, one of depleted resources and a ravaged environment. "They say it's a paradise regained," Dr. Vance muttered, his eyes fixed on a holographic map of Earth projected onto his lab table. "But my data tells a different story." He gestured towards a series of graphs and charts, all displaying worrying trends. "The atmosphere is unstable. Radiation levels are high. It might not be the homecoming they're expecting." The tremor that vibrated throughout the Exodus wasn't the smooth deceleration Anya and Kai had envisioned. It was a series of jolts, interspersed with alarming clangs and groans from the ship's hull. Panic surged throughout the tightly packed crowd gathered in the observation deck. Through the viewport, a desolate landscape unfolded. Rolling brown plains stretched to the horizon, marred by jagged outcroppings of grey rock. No lush forests, no sparkling oceans, just an unsettling emptiness. Elder Ilaria, her face etched with concern, addressed the anxious crowd. There appears to have been unforeseen changes on the planet's surface. Her voice held a tremor of doubt that did little to soothe the growing unease. The first scouting parties returned with grim news. Plant life was sparse and mutated. The air was thin and choked with dust. Readings confirmed Dr. Vance's theories. Earth was a far cry away from the paradise everyone had envisioned. Anya, fueled by a mix of disappointment and burning curiosity, snuck out with Kai during a shift change. They slipped past the security checkpoints, determined to see this wasteland for themselves. They emerged from the metallic belly of the Exodus into a world bathed in an unnatural orange glow. The air tasted metallic and stung their lungs. Ahead, skeletal remains of towering structures pierced the dust-filled sky, eerie reminders of a lost civilization. As they ventured deeper, they stumbled upon a half-buried monument. Faded carvings adorned its surface, depicting strange creatures and what looked like scenes of destruction. A chilling realization settled on them. This wasn't just environmental degradation, it was the aftermath of a catastrophe. Suddenly, the ground trembled, and a plume of dust rose in the distance. Panicked, Anya and Kai turned to flee, but froze. A hulking metal figure, half buried in the sand, emerged from the dust cloud. It was unlike any machine they'd seen on the Exodus, a relic of forgotten technology. The news of Earth's ravaged state split the community. Some clung to the hope of rebuilding a new life on this harsh planet. Others, fueled by fear and desperation, advocated for a continued search for a more hospitable world. Elder Ilaria, burdened by the weight of leadership, retreated into seclusion. The future of the Exodus hung in the balance. Anya and Kai, their youthful optimism dimmed, stood gazing out at the desolate landscape. Anya clutched a fragment of the carved monument, a silent reminder of the past mistakes. "What do we do now?" she whispered, her voice lost in the vast emptiness. Halted by the fragment and the unsettling metallic figure, Anya sought out Dr. Vance. The ostracized scientist, vindicated by the state of Earth, had been poring over data recovered from their excursion. He examined the fragment, his brow furrowing in concentration. "This symbol," he muttered, tracing a pattern on the fragment with his finger. It resembled an ancient energy source mentioned in pre-Exodus texts, a power source that destabilized if not handled properly. Anya's eyes widened. "Do you think this is what caused the catastrophe on Earth?" Dr. Vance nodded grimly. "It's a possibility. The carvings depicted a similar technology used by the civilization that came before us." Fueled by a newfound purpose, Anya and Kai convinced Dr. Vance to accompany them back to the site of the metallic figure. With Elder Ilaria's reluctant permission, a small team embarked on a second, more cautious expedition. The team reached the monument. Using Dr. Vance's expertise, they carefully excavated the site, revealing an entrance hidden beneath the sand. Descending into darkness, they found themselves in a vast underground chamber. The chamber was filled with deactivated machinery, all bearing the same symbol as the fragment. In the center, a massive core device lay dormant, its potential for destruction chillingly evident. Suddenly, a holographic projection flickered to life. A figure, seemingly from the lost civilization, appeared, its voice echoing across the chamber. The figure revealed the truth. Their reliance on the unstable energy source led to an ecological collapse. A fate they desperately trying to ward future generations about. The team stood speechless, the weight of the past crushing. Elder Ilaria, shaken by the revelation, finally understood the true cost of their ancestors' ambition. Back on the Exodus, the news sparked debates. Some saw the message as a cautionary tale, advocating against rebuilding on a planet scarred by such mistakes. Others, clinging to a life they knew, proposed salvaging the technology and learning from its flaws. Elder Ilaria, her eyes filled with a newfound resolve, addressed the community. "We couldn't escape the consequences of the past," she declared, "but we can learn from them." She proposed a difficult choice: use their remaining resources to terraform a section of Earth, a slow and laborious process, or continue their search for a new home with no guarantee of success. The vote was close, but a decision was made. A division formed within the Exodus. Those who believed in rebuilding on Earth, led by Elder Ilaria and Anya, prepared to establish a permanent settlement near the monument. They would face immense challenges, taming the harsh environment, cultivating crops, and ensuring the technology from the past remained buried. Yet there was a spark of hope in their eyes, a determination to carve out a new future from the ashes of the old. The remaining inhabitants, led by a more cautious faction in Kai, chose to continue their journey. They replenished their supplies, their grief tinged with a sense of duty. With a heavy heart, the Exodus separated, two halves of a whole embarking on vastly different paths, and while the future remained uncertain, the spirit of exploration and survival burned bright. Hello again. It seems we've not quite reached dreamland. That's okay. We're only a few moments away and I can take you. Close your eyes and listen to these sleep sounds. You'll be there in no time. Good night, my friend. Sleep well.